Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 30th of December 2022. Thought I'd do something a little bit different today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this phone round and get this pointing at my screen, and I'm going to go through the comments from yesterday's video, really just to show you the process and the thought processes I have when reading your comments under my videos. So I haven't even looked at these comments yet, and I am going to go in there now really for the first time and read through probably not all the comments, but a fair few of the more interesting ones, and just make some comments. Really, it's what I do when I read your comments. Often sort of thoughts are sparked off in my mind, and I just sort of say comments to myself, kind of replying to your comments or adding to them in my head normally, but I'll be saying them aloud. So let's get onto the screen now and I'll show you some comments and my reactions to them. So just before I go into the latest video, I thought I'd just make a comment or two on the comments of Two-Way Street, which is my video, the last one before Christmas, and there was one or two comments that really caught my attention. But before I come on to those, many thanks to all of your kind comments. Yeah, very much appreciated. But this one up here, the top one by Kat, have a great Christmas, and the only needles around us will be on the Christmas tree. That kind of reminded me of a meme that was going around a couple of weeks ago, really great meme, and basically shows a Christmas tree with all of the baubles and tinsel and other decorations on it, but not the actual tree. So all of the decorations are kind of just floating there in midair, but in a Christmas tree type of shape. So it looks a bit weird until you read the caption, which all it said is "no needles, just balls." Says it all, doesn't it? Anyway, let's get on to the latest video and go through these comments as promised. So here we go, let's go through this. Obviously the top one comment was by me, and this is literally the first time I'm looking at these comments myself. So we're just going to have a little look. Yesterday's video I was talking about well, how I was lacking energy in my reinvigorating trip to Brighton. Then I was talking about Mark Devlin's interview. Then I was talking about Johnson, whether he's evil or not, etc. So let's just go and see what your comments are. And this is just really the process I go through. So we've got Tony here. Thanks, Tony, for your comment. Actually, before him, we've got Sovereign Class. Johnson is amoral. He'll do anything for the right price. Yeah, kind of totally agree with that. Now we're talking about Tony's one here. Hope you're feeling better soon, Tim. We need you telling how it is and waking people up. Thanks for your great work. Peace from Ireland. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, rest assured, I'll keep these videos coming. There we go. It's good to take time out, Tim. Being a truth seeker is stressful. That's from user. Yeah, it can be at times. Sort of very much so. So give that one a sort of one of those as well. Then we've got Firefly Robert. Thanks, Robert. Tim, I went through a similar period a few months ago. I think it's almost a type of post-traumatic syndrome, and truthers like us have been burning huge amounts of energy dealing with all the insanity without consciously realising it. Campaigning can take its toll And the one salvation is we know we're on the right side of history. I also took some time out, be kind to yourself, get out into nature, relax, etc. I like the story of the lumberjack who took some time off, and after he returned he chopped down many more trees than he would normally have done before. We all need to sharpen our axes from time to time. Some very nice, kind words there. Thank you very much. And taking some time out, no matter how dire the situation, is very, very important. And then we've got Mary Lynch here. Hi Tim, sorry to hear you've been a bit under the weather, understandable. Good to hear you're recharging your body, well deserved. Thank you for the recommendation and all your hard work all year. I so appreciate it. Happy New Year to you and Lorraine. Wishing you health and happiness in 2023. God bless always. And right back at you, Mary. Happy New Year to you as well. And we've got this one, Miss Ela. It's classical all the way for me. Nobody beats Mozart's genius. A bit of music is a very good way to unwind as well. We've got James here. We are just at the beginning of all this, Tim. Stay strong. I tend to think along more kind of optimistic lines than that. This is, I reckon, at least the end of the beginning, as Churchill once said. But who knows where we are? I suppose time will tell. Roberta, hello Roberta. Nice to hear from you as always. I'll just expand that out. Yes, Tim, it's important to rest up. Glad you're feeling a lot better. Sometimes you just have to chill out. So many sad and distressing things happening can wear you down. We did quite a few walks in the countryside, surrounded by hills and bens. Ben, Lady, Moor and Lomond. Beautiful and calming. Yeah, I bet it must be absolutely lovely up there. Especially on a nice bright winter's day. So we've got Charmaine here. No need to justify the break from doing videos, Tim. You more than earned a rest, and I'm glad you enjoyed said rest. Well done on the 13-mile bike ride too. I can only imagine just walking around the store is just about my dead strength these days, but I'll be 70 next year, so understandable. Just hope when I get to 70 I can still be getting out on the bike. I'll be doing well, I should think. And then we've got Jack Rowe here. Hello Jack. Hi Tim, pleased to hear the sea helped to make you feel a little better. I've never took any notice of politics until March 2020, but I had heard a couple of people state Johnson was evil when he was mayor, but I didn't take much notice. But now I see and totally agree. Thanks for all you do. Take it easy. Yeah, so I'm obviously not the only one to have seen those comments from years ago about Johnson, and coming to the realisation that he probably is pretty evil. We've got Glynis here. Glad you are both having a nice time, very close to where I live. Yes, walking by the sea is very therapeutic. Thanks for your input, Tim. Always interesting and thought-provoking. God bless. And God bless to you as well. And we've got Mouse Nation. Actually, before I come on to them, I didn't think this video would get as many views as normal, because of the time of year it is, people out and about doing things, and also this video is a bit longer than normal, which tends to kill the views a bit. So quite sort of nice to see that I've had quite a lot of views on this and so many comments, 152 comments. Not that I'll be going through all 152 of them. I'll probably just sort of do the top ones here and cut in between some of them. So, Mouse Nation, just expand that. We all need a break from alternative media sometimes. Rest up and get your strength back, Tim. I hope you're feeling refreshed very soon. Thank you so much for your hard work. Yeah, it's a pleasure, and rest assured I will be continuing on with it. And in yesterday's video, I recommended an interview with Rachel Elnor, and she was saying, because she's got a YouTube channel as well, and in the interview she said she's not going to monetize it because it doesn't feel right to her. And I've always felt that as well. I've sort of never wanted to monetize this channel. As she was saying, it feels more pure, kind of doing it knowing that you're not earning any money at all from it. And I just feel it's something I have to do. I'm called to do these videos, and as long as I feel called, I will keep doing them. My 2p's worth. Glad to see you back, Tim, and happy that you had a nice break. For sure you needed it. I love Brighton, summer or winter. What a special place. I think calling Johnson evil is an underestimation. Weft puppet or not, he allowed people to die alone and aided his pal Matt to do others with those things. Yeah, proper evil. Amanda. Tim, I hope you feel more energetic soon, and I wish you and Rain much love and light, and everyone on this channel. I love the sea. How I long to feel the sand between my toes. Tim, I used to work for Ken Livingstone at County Hall, London. It seems like a lifetime ago now. Regarding Mark Devlin, he's a wealth of knowledge. Avoid anyone with the title Sir. It speaks volumes of their character. Yeah, I bet it does. Wishing you, Tim, Lorraine and everyone here a positive new year. Love and light. Yours, pure blood, Amanda. Thank you very much, Amanda. And wow, interesting to hear that you once worked for Ken Livingstone. Talking about Johnson, does anyone else believe, as I do, that he was never at death's door? Yeah, I know where you're coming from on that, and I always thought it was a little bit fishy at the time, and I pretty much 100% agree with you, as many people watching this do as well. Whether it was a propaganda stunt because there was plenty of people before he supposedly came down with that, not really taking things seriously. They were taking walks out in the countryside, going down and having picnics on the beach, and just treating the whole thing as a big holiday. And then things seemed to get a lot more serious when he supposedly went down. So yeah, I think you've got a great point there. So we've now got Stefan Maximum. Hello, Stefan. It's easy to downplay the importance of the Beatles in 2022, but having been a pop fan in the early 60s when I first heard the Beatles, it was like nothing I ever heard before. Sure, when their fame started to rise, they were introduced to that big club. Their second album with the Beatles, the cover was used to announce to the club that they were bought. Their left eyes were in shadow. Nobody could achieve the worldwide fame that they did without the help of the global elites. Having said that, they were a real band and not a product of the Tavistock Institute, as Mark believes. I've met plenty of people who see them in Liverpool and Hamburg before they were famous, and my wife's aunt used to go and watch them play at the Cavern Club. I believe that John Lennon wanted out of that secret club and eventually paid the ultimate price. Happy New Year, Tim and Lorraine, and keep up the good work. Yeah, as I said in yesterday's video, I didn't necessarily share the views that Mark Devlin and the lady interviewing him were coming out with, and but I very much agree that
with, like a lot of these people, they start off as, you know, a really good raw talent, and then they kind of fall victim to these powers that shouldn't be, who promise them the world and all the wealth that they could ever want in return for selling their souls. And there's no escape unless you want to sort of end up dead on a New York street. Now we've got Anthony Toner. I'm a huge Genesis fan, but I could never understand why Phil Collins' Face Value album was so successful. Of course, he was great buddies with Charles. Interesting. Being a critical thinker amongst a herd of sheep is a hard game to play. Respect. And Jean. Hello, Jean. Hope you feel better soon. You do great work, so thanks. Yeah, feeling better now. It's just a little bit of sort of lacking in energy. You know, it wasn't that I was sort of feeling really poorly. I just seemed to feel tired all the time. But that seems to have gone now, thankfully. And we sort of come on to user here. Mate, it's underlining mental stress from the constant bombardment of propaganda from the you-know-who. You're not alone. Yeah, this can all be very, very wearing. Bob Davey, hello Bob. Happy Christmas to you, and hope you have a great New Year. Great work, Tim. Hope you feel better soon. Richie reports. Hello, Richie. I sort of enjoy our exchanges and seeing your comments and emails and things. Hi Tim, glad your mini break in Brighton helped you unwind a bit. You need to get away from the everyday for a while. I had a laugh at the windbreak on the beach, warning of huge waves. Typical nanny state sort of thing. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that was that big red banner. And did you notice on that the power of three, like I've banged on about in previous videos, the three things at the bottom, just like Johnson's podium, wasn't it, where it was always the three little phrases. So still making use of it, I see, even when it's talking about sort of big waves down at the beach. Good to hear that bike riding is coming on well too, gets you out in the fresh air. Mark Devlin has also appeared on this recent UK column video, the Hastings Freedom Festival back in the summer. Brian Garish interviews Mark here. Watch it's around the 15-minute mark. Right, well, I'll have to make sure I watch that. That'll be a bit of viewing for either today or tomorrow, so thanks for the heads up. So Gwen we've got here. Let's just expand that out. Tim, everyone needs a break, so don't apologise. There's nothing like a good walk near the sea. I love Brighton, though it's a long time since I visited. I can't abide Johnson. I better not start. Safe to say there might have been peace between sort of those two countries now, but for him. Regarding Mark Devlin and the Beatles, it goes a lot deeper than you think, Tim. Best to you, Tim. It was a good listen, the Mark Devlin interview. One thing I really like about doing what I do is coming across things, interviews, videos that I know are fantastic, and then being able to share them here. I know quite a few people have already seen them a lot of the time, but many people haven't, so that is one bit of value I like to think I'm bringing to you guys and to the world generally. Mark Windows invented his common law Malcolm character for a reason. Windows on the World channel. I could be wrong, I could be right. Thanks to you for that. And yeah, Windows on the World channel. I haven't really checked that out very much, so I will have to go and do that. And then we've got Peter Mitchell here. I've always swam upstream, gone against the whatever everyone else says, especially when it's bloody obvious that what they all see is not actually the best. but everyone else says it's good. Couldn't give a toss what everyone else is saying. Simple. Yeah, I sort of share those sentiments and feelings pretty much 100%, as I'm sure many other people who watch this channel do as well. So thanks for expressing what we all think so succinctly there. The Asch experiment was the line thing, and the groupthink conformity experiment. Asch experiment. Yeah, that's what I. Thanks for that, user. I was trying to remember what that is. So I'm sure if you just go onto YouTube and sort of search for Asch, ASCH experiment, you'll find the video I was talking about yesterday. We've got Isabar. Soothe your soul, Tim, and listen to Joe A. Ram play The Sound of Silence on YouTube and on her electric violin. That's one I haven't heard of. I will sort of take a listen to that. So thank you very much. And then we've got Clown World, appropriate name for what we've been living in during the last 3 years, isn't it? The parties also exposed that the mandates were not law, as Hancock pointed out when he was pretending to cry in the jungle. They were only advisory. Know who you are. Yeah, that is one thing I've learned. All of these things, they're not laws, are they? Mandates. Well, there's actually a meme that I saw on Telegram some time ago, and it just said all of these things that you think, all the things I've got to obey, like mandates, and I can't think of any of the other ones at the moment, but you know, there's lots of them. You're obligatory, and all that sort of thing. Mandates. You know, this meme just said mandates, then not a law. Obligatory, not a law. Legal, not a law. And all of this kind of thing. And it just shows you there's a lot less stuff that you actually have to obey than you think you have to. So it's well worth looking into. That's why all of these people, or most of them, are getting off all of the nonsense charges they faced during lockdowns, because none of it is actually binding. So I've got Malcolm Davidson. Hello, Malcolm. Johnson is the great-grandson of the Interior Minister of the Grand Vizier of the Ottoman Empire. He's from the ruling class. Yeah, aren't all of these people? They've all got these bloodlines and everything. We've got Majimak here. Bullingdon's Boys Club. Bojo and Cameron were part of it, among others. Yeah, I couldn't quite remember yesterday exactly what the club was. And then we've got Clean Hit here. Hello, Clean. Let's just expand your video out there. I would rather listen to the musical opinion and analysis of people like the Beatles from someone who has an intimate knowledge of music and musical theory, someone like Rick Beato, rather than those who think Paul McCartney is a replacement. Yes, everyone has an opinion. Some are more demonstrably valid than others, in my opinion. Yep, sort of valid point. Thank you very much there. Then we come on to Vic here. Read more, let's do that. The further away our lifestyle, diet and environment are away from nature, the worse we function. October just gone, there was another event, 201. It was held in Africa. Gil Bates was there, obviously, among other VIP types. It was called Catastrophic Contagion. I see a pattern developing here. Yeah, I know a lot of people are seeing parallels between that and the other event that occurred in October 2019, just before the you know what. So it is a cause for concern. Although I do believe there was another one of those sort of events in the summer probably early-ish summer, I'm going to say, May or June, and another tabletop exercise. Not sure if that was the precursor to the whole stupid M pox thing, but it didn't fly, did it? So just hoping this one and any subsequent ones won't fly. You know, they can try it on, but I don't think, well, I'm hoping people won't fall for this kind of stuff ever again. And then we've got Malcolm Davidson here again. They know the whole Lurgy narrative is fake. Catherine Hall. Hello, Catherine. Just scroll you up a bit there. Get Lorraine on, lol. We need a smile. Thanks for your info, by the way. Yeah, I really must get Lorraine on again very soon. She has had a sort of a cold recently, and sadly has lost her best friend recently, so it might be a little while before she's up to coming on again, but I will get her on again, so hopefully not too far into the new year. Negative ions are the good ones. Ah, right, okay, I stand corrected. We've got Jane here, so she often sort of posts comments here, so thanks Jane, always like to read yours. Take care of yourself, I'm tired all the while in these dark days. It's dark at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think that's what it is. Our body clock is not working right. Yes, I like Rachel, not seen her for months, but she just rolled up again, lovely lady. Not seen Mark Devlin since last year, take a look. Beatles was out when I was 9, loved them then, not so much later. Billy Fury was mine then and still is. I think Johnson is not a very nice person, money power mad. The Duper's delight, he has stood out a mile to me, strikes me as a lazy git. Thanks for the update, Tim. So yeah, you know, it's just something not right about Johnson, is there really? Alistair Crowley's face is in the top left of the crowd on the Sgt. Pepper album. Alistair Crowley is kind of, I don't know too much about the story, but he was a very evil dude who was around in the first half of the 20th century here in the UK, and all of the powers that shouldn't be and their kind of cronies absolutely love him. So obviously that means he's a real serious wrong'un. So we've got this comment here. The Beatles are good, but I think they are overrated. Are they all Rosemary's Babies? I think there's plenty of bands of their generation who were as good or better. Paul is dead to me for his virtue signalling public jab escapade. I was disgusted. Maybe he was encouraged by the elite. Maybe he was encouraged by the elites to at least look like he was having it under pressure, being in that club because of his massive influence over fans worldwide. Yeah, I think there's so many of these people who were just so with the narrative. So we've got Steve here, who I know isn't a fan of this channel. Your rights only end when you encroach someone else's rights, taken from your common law link. So your rights end when you put my health at risk. Yeah, the common law sort of thing of do no harm, you could kind of take that to an absolute extreme and say, you know, you're potentially putting my health, or you know, putting me at risk and harming me by not wearing a muzzle when you sort of go out and about. I did sort of wonder if, you know, how far the do no harm in common law goes, but if you watch the video carefully, they say the harm thing is when there's willful intent. So go and spit in someone's face when you've got the lurgy, that would be willful intent to do them harm. But by just not wearing a muzzle out in public, that isn't doing intentional willful harm. Not in my book anyway, because you have to sort of always balance these things. You could argue that the only way I can be 100% sure that I'm never going to do anyone any harm at all is by never going out my front door. And where does it end? Then we've got vote reform. BJ is weak, not evil. This one here, there is a disturbingly dead atmosphere off the Beatles music. Sgt. Pepper's has a weird cultish vibe off it. And then we've got Digger Brains. Yeah, I watched it, and should where the human mind vulnerabilities can be compromised and used in the last few years to good effect.
So I hope you enjoyed that, just something a bit different, and I hope it gave you a little bit of an insight as to my thought processes that I have when reading your stuff under my videos. So I'll leave it there for today. Back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.